Intro. Hook. What if I told you that, in the span of just one offseason, the Houston Rockets went from being an intriguing young squad to possessing one of the most fearsome super teams the NBA has ever seen? That's exactly what happened when Houston boldly swung for the fences and acquired Kevin Durant, pairing him with a rising 21-year-old center, Alperen Sengun, and a supporting cast built for positionless chaos. Today, we're diving deep into why this isn't just another blockbuster trade. It's a seismic shift that poses an existential threat to the entire Western Conference. By the end of this video, you'll understand how Houston solved its spacing issues, unlocked dual rocket power with two former champions, and assembled a 10-man rotation capable of terrorizing opponents on both ends of the court. So buckle up, because the Houston Rockets' Kevin Durant and Alperen Sengun problem is only getting started. The insane chess move. Last summer, whispers started swirling around the league. Could Houston really be eyeing Kevin Durant? Most scoffed. After all, trading for a megastar in the modern cap era is near impossible. Contracts, draft picks, and chemistry considerations create a minefield. Yet, under coach Ime Udoka's strategic vision, the Rockets executed one of the boldest chess moves in recent NBA history. They packaged assets, draft compensation, role players, and future picks to bring in Durant, instantly leaping from playoff hopeful to serious title contender. In one fell swoop, Houston sent a clear message. Their era is now, not later. This move did more than add a superstar. It completed a super team built on both present talent and future upside. Young core meets superstar. What makes this iteration of Houston unique is the blend. A proven all-time great in Durant alongside a foundational young core. At the forefront is Alperen Sengun, the Turkish phenom who averaged 21 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists on 58% true shooting last season. Then there's Amen Thompson, the 20-year-old explosive wing, plus Jabari Smith Jr., Tari Eason, and Cam Whitmore, each bringing defensive versatility and playmaking flashes. Pairing their athleticism with Durant's scoring acumen creates a generational bridge, youth energized by veteran savvy. This is the perfect recipe for a team aiming to compete at the highest level for years to come. Sengun's breakout season. If you weren't watching Houston religiously last year, you missed one of the league's most intriguing breakout stories. Sengun wasn't just a raw big man, he was a Swiss Army knife. He dribbled in transition, ran pick and roll as the primary ball handler, and flashed passing angles that most guards envy. His footwork in the post, reminiscent of Hakeem Olajuwon. His vision, channeling Nikola Jokic. Defensively, he switched onto guards and protected the rim with surprising agility. Yet despite these skills, defenses collapsed on him, daring Houston's perimeter shooters to make shots. That all changes now, because spacing has become Houston's secret weapon, solving the spacing problem. Enter Kevin Durant, a career 39% three-point shooter with a 7-foot wingspan and the smoothest jumper in NBA history. Suddenly, opposing defenses can't sag off Sengun without risking open looks from the best shooter alive. Paint-packing schemes give way to contested drives and kickouts, stretching defenses thinner than ever. This newfound floor spacing unlocks cuts, drive and kick sequences, and post feeds to Sengun, all while Durant drifts to the corners. Houston shooters, think Tari Eason and rookie Reed Shepherd, now operate in an offense where collapsing the paint is a fool's errand. Dual rocket power, Durant and Van Vliet. It's one thing to add Durant, it's another to pair him with Fred Van Vliet, a two-time champion point guard who knows how to orchestrate an offense for others. Van Vliet brings championship DNA from Toronto's 2019 title run and a proven knack for big-moment shots. Together, Durant and Van Vliet form dual rocket power, guiding Houston's young core. Under Ime Udoka's defensive-minded system, they'll set the tone in the locker room and on the court, teaching the next generation how to win when the lights are brightest. Positionless switching defense. What happens when you combine 4 players around 7 feet tall who can all handle the ball, switch across positions, and defend multiple matchups? You get the most switching-heavy defense in the league. Picture Durant, Sengun, Smith Jr., Thompson, and Van Vliet, each capable of guarding perimeter threats or big men in drop coverage. Pick and rolls become nightmares for opponents. Roll men can't sneak to the rim, and ball handlers can't exploit mismatches without instant help. This level of versatility allows Houston to blitz screens, hedge selectively, and recover seamlessly. Key ingredients for playoff success: 10-man rotation and depth. Unlike many superstar trades that gut a roster, Houston kept its young core intact. Amen Thompson's defensive acrobatics, Jabari Smith Jr.'s emerging shooting, Tari Eason's sixth-man energy, Cam Whitmore's burst, Reed Shepard's sharpshooting IQ, and yes, veteran Steven Adams for old-school bruising, round out a 10-man rotation that combines length, athleticism, and championship experience. Depth isn't just having extras on the bench, it's having role players who can replicate the starter's strengths, keeping the intensity high and the lineup fresh deep into the fourth quarter. The perfect Durant fit. For the past 5 years, Durant lacked a true floor general. In Brooklyn, he paired with Steph Curry, briefly, and then Kyrie Irving for just 47 games. In Phoenix, point guard rotations centered around DeAndre Ayton and then Chris Paul, with mixed results. Now, he arrives in Houston with Fred VanVleet running the show and Sengun as a high-post facilitator. This is a throwback to Golden State's Curry-Draymond era, but dialed up. Durant doesn't need ISO after ISO. He can thrive within a read-and-react system, conserving energy and maximizing efficiency at age 36. VanVleet's offensive impact. Imagine VanVleet calling a pin down for Durant off Sengun's high post. Durant curls into a mid-range sweet spot for an easy catch and shoot. Or picture VanVleet triggering staggered screens that free Harris or Shepard for corner threes. This meticulous orchestration lifts the burden off Durant's shoulders. No more grueling isolation battles every possession. With VanVleet's elite spacing reads and Sengun's playmaking chops, Houston's offense gains multiple avenues to generate quality looks, boosting Durant's efficiency back toward historic levels. Opposition adjustments and strategic counters. Now that Houston's blueprint is public, opposing coaches will scramble to devise counters. But the Rockets' versatility makes clean solutions elusive. Expect zone looks aimed at clogging the paint and daring role players to outshoot Durant and company. But switching defenders onto Durant off the catch still yields high percentage attempts. Teams might deploy early double teams on Sengun's role and force kickouts. Yet a rotation featuring VanVleet, Smith Jr., and Shepard can punish weak closeouts. Late-game blitz packages against Durant may generate turnovers, but Sengun's playmaking alleviates that pressure. He can high-post flash and hit open cutters or deep shooters when defenses send help. On the fly, opponents will try staggered traps or drop coverage tweaks, but Houston can counter with quick-hitting horn sets, drag screens, and pick-and-pop actions. In essence, any adjustment begets a counter. Houston's multi-dimensional roster is engineered for rapid schematic chess matches, forcing each opponent into a small-ball three-point shootout they're unlikely to win. Western Conference power shift. With the Durant-Sengun axis live, the Western landscape tilts dramatically. Once dominated by juggernauts like Golden State, and then shifting toward emerging contenders like OKC, the conference now witnesses Houston vaulting into elite territory. Traditional powers can no longer rely on size or isolation as a catch-all. They must adapt to Houston's positionless onslaught. Denver's Jokic-led system, while formidable, lacks a three-point threat of Durant's caliber. Minnesota and Phoenix must account for Houston's switching defense, which can mirror any scheme they throw at it. Playoff seeding battles intensify as teams jockey for favorable matchups. No one wants to face a fully healthy Rockets unit in a 7-game series. The trade doesn't just elevate Houston, it forces every Western contender to re-examine roster construction, cap space allocation, and off-season targets, as replicating this blend of shooting, length, and championship pedigree is virtually impossible under current financial constraints. Financial and cap ramifications. Of course, assembling a super team carries a hefty price tag. Durant's max contract, VanVleet's veteran extension, and Sengun's rookie-scale earnings push Houston deep into luxury tax territory. The front office must balance immediate championship aspirations against long-term sustainability. Future draft assets were part of the consensus cost to land Durant. Houston sacrificed some cap flexibility in subsequent summers, limiting potential free agent pursuits. Yet the franchise's ownership has demonstrated willingness to pay the tax. echoing Golden State's model during the Curry-Thompson dynasty. Smart secondary signings, minimum deals for shooters, mid-level exceptions for role players will be crucial to maintain depth without further luxury drag. And with Sengun's extension looming, the Rockets must forecast how to manage cap spikes while preserving roster continuity. Financially, this trade signals Houston's all-in ethos. They're betting big now, recognizing that window may narrow as age and contracts converge. Chapter 14. Long-term outlook and potential risks. No superteam is without risk. Durant enters his age 36 season vulnerable to nagging injuries, and his workload, though lighter thanks to better spacing, still demands careful load management. Sengun, while durable, carries extensive minutes for a young big man, raising concerns over fatigue and possible midseason downturns. The chemistry of blending championship veterans with a developmental core requires deft man management. Udoka's track record suggests he can navigate ego dynamics, but locker room cohesion must be monitored. Additionally, the NBA's ever-shifting landscape means today's monsters can become tomorrow's memories if a key rotation piece falters. Houston's front office must guard against complacency. Targeted trades, timely rest, and continuous scheme evolution will be imperative. Yet, if health holds and the staff stays proactive, this Rockets assembly could dominate for several seasons, rewriting franchise history. In the high-stakes lottery of superteams, Houston's choice championship DNA and future outlook. What sets superteams apart is not only star power, but also championship experience. We saw Alex Caruso's impact on OKC this season, one veteran teaching young studs what winning looks like. Now Houston boasts two veterans, Durant and VanVleet, each battle-tested in Game 7s and title runs. They're surrounded by a core hungry to learn, forging a culture of accountability and poise under pressure. Odds makers have already pegged Houston as the second favorite for the 2026 title, and for good reason. Talent, fit, depth, defense, and championship acumen all align. Conclusion and CTA. So, are the Rockets now the league's new favorites, or will this blockbuster experiment falter under pressure? One thing's certain, the NBA no longer has a Kevin Durant problem. It has a Houston Rockets problem. From Sengun's multifaceted brilliance to Durant's restored efficiency, VanVleet's steady hand, and Udoka's defensive schemes, Houston's blueprint is built for sustained success. Drop your hottest take in the comments. Can anyone stop this juggernaut? Smash that like button if you're as excited as we are. Subscribe for weekly deep dives, and ring the bell so you never miss an update on this unprecedented Rockets era. The Western Conference will never be the same. Let's get into it.